Greetings, one and all, and welcome to the Merry Monday Mail Call Show. It's your host, Dave, from Still Only 35 Cents. I hope you are all well on this Monday morning. A bit of an earlier start this week. Have some important meetings have to attend, so pushed it forward an hour. We'll see if this slot works longer term, but for now, welcome to 6:30 a.m. on a Monday morning here in Australia, and I'm assuming it's either an afternoon or an evening wherever you are in the world today. It'll be a relatively short one this time around. We're going to be delving into some sort of random-ish type 1980s books, including a couple of keys that I picked up and wanted to share with you. In particular, one big key that I have been a massive fan of for a long time. But before we get started, I'd like to say hello to our chat. I'm sure there are people in the chat, so we will say hello to them. First one is Derek Hammontree. Hello, everyone. Morning, Dave. 80s is the best. It is the I struggle. It had some moments, but it certainly was my era of comics, alongside the Bronze Age. So I'm sort of a foot in both camps, 80s and 70s for me. Bobs. He's here. Hello. Good to see you, mate. Happy Sunday to you. Gosh, it's been an absolute age. Great to see you in the chat, my friend. Vincent is here. The Collector Coach is here. Hello. How are you? Very cool to see you all. And Richard Westfall as well. Hello. How are you? Really good. So that's us up to date. As I say, very quick one, this one. I will put the camera up and we can have a quick look through this. I've missed someone. I have comic issues. Hello, everyone. I hope all of your issues are comics. I hope they are too. Speaking of issues that are all comics, let's bring up the screen so we can see some of these comics that we're talking about. Hopefully that's clear for you. So the first one, we've got a little bit of an Iron Man run. I'm trying to complete my Iron Man run. I'm sort of in between. I'm trying to go up to about 250, not going for the full set, but I've been picking them up whenever I can. And sort of some gaps around the 150 to 250 mark, and then the first 50 odd issues. But yeah, I've been picking these up, and in particular, I want to get the one I'm missing, which I'm struggling with, is issue 200, and that's the one where he changes into the Centurion armor. And faces off against Ironmonger, which is actually the first villain in the Iron Man movies. So yeah, that's one interesting. And I did own that when I was younger, and really enjoyed that book, and I really enjoyed the art at the time as well, which is probably why I'm enjoying this. So this McDonnell, I think, was the artist at the time. Now it was Denny O'Neil on writing and Luke McDonnell on pencils. And as I say, his style did evolve over the time. And I really enjoyed his style. It was sort of like a very clean, it gave sort of Iron Man a good feel. It did feel quite metallic, like you could look at the leads there. But this is a newsstand issue. Nice, good-looking copy. No key significance, really. I just thought I'd share that one with you. And we have another Iron Man for your edification and delight. This one again, McDonnell cover with Obadiah Stane on the front cover, issue 167 of Iron Man, with Tony tempted to take once again from the bottle. Fortunately for him, chooses not to, which is good. And again, what do we have here? Did I check the other one? Well, I have seriously forgotten that these were Mark Jewelers. So for those of you who don't know what a Mark Jeweler is, they are a reasonably rarer variant. They're only supplied on US Army bases and basically sold. So the newsstands copies, but they come with the Mark Jewelers in. And I completely forgot that these had Mark Jewelers in them. And they're pretty good shape. as well. So very happy to pick those up. Yeah, it's always a pleasant surprise when out of nowhere you get a little surprise like that, a little Mark Jeweller action there. And I wouldn't have spotted it had it not been for the channel. They'd just gone in a box until I'd remembered that. So they'll have to be marked off. But there you go. There's your Mark Jewellers, issue 165 and 167. That's the sort of surprise of the day. So very happy with that. Let's have a look at the comments from Richard. Look at that Iron Man. Look at the Iron Man trade. Yes, it changes about every 25 issues, and they're all very cool designs. Yes, indeed, they absolutely are. Very true, Richard. Let's see. I'm now suspecting that I have yet another, because I have 1/3 Iron Man for you, and I'm suspecting that this will be one aforementioned Mark Jewellers. And lo and behold, folks, it is another Mark Jewellers. And again, you can see these are in really good shape, as you can see. So very happy to have picked them up. And now I shall have to mark them in there. This was the Iron Man 178, the editor, the assistant editor month. And there is the all new Iron Man, not new trade dress, but you do get the go-go checks comedy thing and the Iron Man facing backwards there. And Bob Harris this time on writing, but again, Luke McDonnell on art. It's all about that Mark Jewellers for me. So beautiful stuff. Great to be able to pick those up and have them. 1980s goodness at its best. Iron Man at his best. Well, maybe not at his best, but good period. I always found that period to be quite interesting as he handed the reins over to Rhodey and lost control or didn't do anything. Now this one, I think this is, I should have called this out. This one's an interesting one. So this is X Factor number 9. Now, I was always a fan of X Factor. I collected it from the first issue when it first came out. This is a decent copy. Looks around about 9.4. Let's just take this out for 1 second. I'll give you a shock. But yeah, not a Mark Jewellers this time. And I think it was Bob Harris. Oh no, Terry Shoemaker on on art. And Louise Simonson on writing duties at this point, featuring the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. What's so nice about this one is, as you can see here, you've got your cover, but how about 2 covers? Do you feel like double cover, folks? Some beautiful double cover. Look at that. It's a day for unusual variants, I think. So there you have it. So for those of you who don't know what a double cover is, that is when it's manufactured. It picks up 2 sheets, and you can tell because it was very easy for me to open one as one, and they get manufactured. And you can get up to multiple, like more than 2. But double covers, I always find double covers absolutely fantastic. Very interesting little piece. Always. That's right, Bubs. I'm always in the mood for a double cover. And I love it because it's just, as I say, getting these graded. Well, the way that they grade them is they grade both the external cover and the internal cover. And the internal cover, whichever one's the higher, is the grade that the book eventually gets when you grade it with CGC. Again, double covers, I always tend to get them graded anyway. This one was from Dave and Rachel at Future Past Vintage Collectibles. They've given it a grade of 9.4, so that would be 9.4. But we'll see. I may submit this and see what grade this one actually gets. But super happy to have another double cover in the collection. I do have a Secret Wars issue 8 double cover, which I've shown, I think, on Only Slabs previously. So that one's one of my other favorites. Managed to pick that up a few years back. But what I also picked up is this Shang-Chi, the Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu, the 100th edition anniversary issue with this great Mike Zeck cover. It's not a Mark Jewelers or anything. It is a newsstand though, and around about a 9.2. I actually got this from John at Bronze and Modern Gods. So I'm not going to be getting this graded anytime soon, but just nice to be able to pick this up. And I'm wondering if Mike Zeck is, Gene Day and Mike Zeck on art on the interior here. So a great little piece. I love having Mike Zeck art, regardless of which character is drawing. It's always fun to see. So there's a nice Master of Kung Fu there for your edification and delight again. Then we have now this, I've been collecting these. So I'm normally, what's going on here? It won't come out. I'm normally collecting the deluxe edition. I have a full set of the deluxe edition of the Marvel Universe, but I haven't got the original set, the full set of that. So I'm collecting these as well whenever I see them. For those of you who don't know what these are, they are essentially the handbook, the official handbook of the Marvel Universe. You get character profiles for each one, with each of those characters drawn by different artists. So in this instance, Paul Smith has done Baron Mordo, Baron Zemo by Mike Zeck there. But you get A to B of all the characters. Batrock's there by Mike Zeck as well. But as you can see here, you get people contributing like John Romita Jr., Marie Severin, John Byrne, Dave Cockrum, Al Milgram, Steve Lee Aloha, Keith Pollard. And back in the day, you'd get, early Rob Liefeld, Todd McFarlane's in there as well. But I always love flipping through these. They're absolutely fantastic. And there's your Black Panther T'Challa there. I wonder who the biggest character would be in this one. I would imagine Captain America, given his prominent appearance on the front cover. Got a bit of Bullseye, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, both versions there. There he is, Captain America, next to Cannonball. And I think that's another Mike Zeck. My favourite, Captain Britain, alongside Captain America. And then Captain Marvel, when Monica Rambeau went by the Captain Marvel name. But I've always loved these. They're fantastic books. And if you're a fan of the Marvel Universe, you should own these. I need to collect the DC ones as well. But love the wraparound covers too. And these all interjoin over time. So it's always fun. So seek these out if you can. They're relatively inexpensive, I've found, and give you a really good sense. If you're just new to getting into comics, they give you a really good sense of the stories and the characters behind them. And it's always good, especially if you're new following the MCU. So I've got a bit of Galactus if you're new following the MCU. And did someone say John Byrne? Mr. Aikens is not here. So welcome. I have comic issues. Welcome. And Richard, what are you saying here? What the who's who are fun too. Yes, I am collecting those as well now. I started collecting those. I started off with the most expensive issues, the ones with Dave Stevens in. Which is always good. This is a good one. This is Supervillain Classics, Galactus, The Origin, by Bob Layton cover anyway. And the story, Jack Kirby, story by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, inked by Vince Colletta. So you get this amazing retelling of Galactus's origin. Some great Kirby crackle there. Look at that. And there it is. But just great. Wonderful. Beautiful stuff. And there it is, that famous page at Galactus at the very end. Love that shot. So speaks Galactus. And there you have it with the interesting. It's a shame they didn't put the splash page from Jack on that front page. Would have been a great one. But nonetheless, interesting cover by Bob Layton there to go with that. Next, what have we got next? Let's see. We've got a little bit of. We'll finish with the big book rather than that. So we'll go with these because these I picked up. This is towards the tail end of the 80s, right at the very end. And we talked about Captain America earlier. These are good. These are from Dave and Rachel, Future Past Vintage Collectibles. These are Captain America, but these are a full run of the Blood Hunt, or the Bloodstone Hunt, sorry. And as you can see here, you've got Mark Grunwald on writing duties, his massive run on Cap, and Al Milgrom on art. So very interesting stuff. As I say, art at the time, I think Al, yes, his art style was always a little contentious with folks. So an interesting one there for me to pick up. But yeah, as I say, I wanted to sort of pick up this full set. It was available. I'm trying to remember why I was charging for the full set. I think it was, they're all in near mint condition. So they're all like fantastic. So I paid about, I think it was $10 per comic. So again, Al Milgrom on cover here. An internal art this time is by Kieran Dwyer. Mark Grunwald again on inks. But yeah, as I say, I thought if you're going to get it and you're going to get all six, may as well get them in one go. There's Diamondback there. A period of time when Cap was in a relationship with Diamondback. And we have issue 359, so 357, 358, and 359. Part 3 of the Bloodstone Hunt. And there you have it, Grunwald and Dwyer on script, co-plot, and pencils. And interesting. So there's that one. And I would have liked to have seen on these books, basically, it would have been nice to get, if you're going to have a series like this, why not do the corner box different for each one? Because they've clearly done a new corner box here. But yeah, this is issue 360. And again, Kieran Dwyer on plot and pencils alongside Mark Grunwald on writing duties. I'm not sure who's doing the inks here because it's a little bit tidier in terms of some of the inks, a bit more increased line work. So this is Danny Bulanadi. So yeah, quite like the art inking style. It's one of those things that I'm really starting to sort of appreciate is the difference that an inker can make to an artist's work. Like you can really notice the difference between the two books there. And so, yeah, I'm really sort of, as I say, I've got the Marvel Tryout book and I will be doing the Marvel Tryout book and getting inkers to ink different parts of the Marvel Tryout book, the original one, because I think that'll be a little interesting project to do. This one is 361. Mark Grunwald and Kieran Dwyer, and then Bulandi again on the ink. So you can sort of see that inking style, really rich graphical style there. So it actually helps. I think it really creates a nice feel for the art. So that's 361. That's part 5 of 6. And then to close us out, part 6 of 6. And this one is Zemo Ascendant, at last the end of the harrowing hunt. Again, that team of Mark Grunwald, Kieran Dwyer, and Danny Bulanadi on inks. Fabulous stuff there. So there's your full 6. Now, I thought I'd close this out with some big boys. So let's have a quick look what we've got to call us out. And there's Brian. Hello, sir. Good afternoon or good morning to you from lovely Australia. Welcome to see you. And love those NES ads. Excellent. Yes, I mean, you should be paying more attention to the ads, because I do love the ads in comics. It's part of the joy of reading comic books is when you see those appear. And yes, I agree. I would love to see my man Mike Zeck come back to conventions. I was lucky enough to catch up with him a couple of times. I did have some original art by him once and sold it, which is stupid thinking about it now. It was like Captain America sketch cover, and I managed to sell it. So not my best work, but at the time it felt like the right thing, because I wasn't necessarily that pleased with it. It was it sort of felt like he'd not phoned it in, but just it wasn't as good as I was expecting. This one, I've got two to share with you before we close the show. And that is this one, issue 221 of X-Men. Well known because this is the first appearance. Great cover, by the way. I always love this cover with Mark Silvestri art. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. But this one is well known because it is the first appearance of Mr. Sinister, who does not tolerate failure, as you can see here. So Mark Silvestri and Dan Green on art. And this was peak my era in the X-Men, when I just got back, not just back into comics, but just really started seriously collecting at this point. So I was really into the X-Men, and this whole piece was fantastic. And seeing Mr. Sinister in this first issue, and I was collecting him, I think, from the newsstands at this point still. So great to be able to pick this up and relive the days prior to the fall of the mutants, this whole piece. And you can see that there with the adversary talking to Storm. But yeah, nice little pickup there, that one. Still a little bit of a spec on that book. Hopefully Mr. Sinister will appear at some point. And then to close us out for this week's show, another X-Men. This is X-Men 223. This is the issue just prior to the fall, not the fall of the mutants. Yes, the fall of the mutants. And yeah, as I say, it's sort of like slips under the radar. This one again, it's a good issue. Gimel cover with Dan Green on art and Gimel on the interior. Obviously, the story by our friend Chris Claremont. But yeah, it leads directly into the fall of the mutants storyline, which was to follow post this issue, I recall. So yeah, and just a nice way to finish off, leading into the fall of the mutants, which is one of my favorite, alongside the Mutant Massacre, one of my favorite story arcs and events. And yes, bring on the X-Men. Bring on the X-Men. All right, let me bring the screen back up so you can see me. It's been an absolute joy having you this morning. Welcome and thank you for coming to the show. Everyone in the chat, it's been brilliant. Hope you've enjoyed the books. I've got an interesting one coming out this week, which is a little bit of memorabilia that I found. New York Comic Convention art memorabilia that I found in the middle of just lying there in the middle of the Yarraville Comic and Toy Fair, and I thought I'd share it with you. So stay tuned for that. Have a check that one out. I hope you have a great week. It's been an absolute pleasure seeing you all, and thank you, Bobs. That's very kind of you to say. It's very nice. Always a pleasure to see you and have you on the show. Next week, not sure what's going to happen, but thank you all for... Oh, we have to do a couple of questions before we go. Great show. Are you going to Terrificon this year? Not sure. I'm definitely going to Heroes Con, so that is confirmed. All booked, ready to go. Considering San Diego, and maybe Terrificon. It all depends on work and how that's transpiring. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Definitely heroes though. So I'll be seeing you all there. But yeah, thanks again for the great chats, for the great comments, and hope you enjoyed the books. And with that, I will see you all next week. Please take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon. Bye for now.